welcome to our part 2 of our Two Posh podcast. And I am Gabrielle. I'm here with Marcella,
Hello.
Cruz,
What up?
Spider.
There we go.
There you are.
There we go.
And our special guest, Vanessa Gomez.
Hi.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for being here with us on part 2 of your
Absolutely.
story. We need to get right into a very traumatic experience that you experienced. Tell us what happened, how old were you, and the amazing nonprofit organization that you're putting together to help others, which is our passion on this show, to always help our guests heal and then from that help other people that have been through it. So
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess just, I was raped. I mean, I don't know
she's
how to
like, how do I even
how do I make
maneuver my way there? So
Yeah.
how old were
so,
you?
I was 18. I was 18, and it was after a night of partying at an after-hours club, and
In the club.
not in the
No.
club.
Oh,
It
I
was
was-
after. It was
okay.
after. It was like 5 or 6 in the morning. I was passed out. But I don't remember it because we were taking a lot of drugs, you know? Like, I remembered it whenever I felt something was off whenever I woke up, and I was like, there's definitely something not right.
Mm-hmm. Like what was off?
Like, I could feel the energy in my vagina was not the energy of my vagina before I passed out.
Right.
So
Did you know this person?
Yeah.
Friends?
we were friends. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We all went, to the same club. I had this good time every single time. And so, yeah, I had to come to terms with taking responsibility for my life. Like, should an 18-year-old really be up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning doing drugs? Like, probably not.
Right.
Like, does it make it okay? No, nobody should ever be raped, 100%. But I think that taking responsibility for my life has really pushed me forward towards success because I get to choose how my life goes. And so I think that's a very distinguishing point that can really help people. Like, no, your rape is not your fault, but healing from it is.
So I have a tough question about this. How do you know that it was rape and that you weren't willing because you don't remember anything?
So I knew it was rape because I started getting flashbacks of it. Like, I specifically remember like going to bed. And when I went to bed, I woke, and then whenever I woke up, I was like this, and then like my shorts were like a little weird. And then I had like a feeling in my vagina that I didn't have before. So it was like, and so then I was like, what's going on? And then I wake up, and then I have a flash of this man on top of my body. Like, I woke up in the middle of it.
Were you at his house?
I can't remember whose house we were at.
But you went there with him as a friend, and
It was
you
like
were
a
not
big
dating.
group. It was like 3 guys, 2 girls, 3 girls. Like, we were just passing out at someone's house.
But the person that you say raped you, you went with him and you laid down in bed together? Or you don't know?
No, I was in
oh.
bed by myself.
Okay.
I woke up with a man next to me, another man next to me, which I originally thought it was him. But he was like, I just fell asleep. I don't know what it is. Like, it wasn't me. And I could tell. Remember when you were telling me that like women are very intuitive?
Yes.
Okay. So whenever he was talking to me, and he was like, no, I promise I would never do anything like that. Like, I just came into the room. I just passed out. Like, and I could tell that what he was telling me was the truth. And so just like I intuitively felt something in my vagina that it was off, right? Like, how do you tell that to someone? Like, how did you know? Like, it wasn't hurting. I wasn't like in pain or anything like that. It just felt like an energy was there that wasn't supposed to be there. That was not mine. right? So I then went and asked the other guy, and whenever I confronted him, it's like, no, no, no. And I could tell. I could tell he was lying to me. You
What?
can tell when people are lying
How
to
did
you.
you ask? What did you say?
It was, I mean, not pretty. I was like, someone just raped me. Someone had sex with me while I was sleeping. Who was it? Who was it? Was it you? It's like, no, 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 it wasn't me. You could tell it like he was like, but it's the energy, right? We can all read energy. You can tell when someone's lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I knew it was him, not the guy that I woke up next to.
And so, did he ever admit it?
No.
To this day.
Mm-mm. Nope. What is he supposed to say? Hey, sorry for raping you when you were 18. Guys don't do that typically because, you can come back with something. They're scared.
Did you tell your parents?
Mm-mm. No, I didn't tell anybody. Actually, whenever the Me Too movement came out, I wrote something on like Facebook, and that's the only time I told anybody or everybody that wanted to read it knew. But no, like the only people that knew were my really close girlfriends.
So was this a devastating experience, obviously, back then? Were you struggling with it? Did you put it out of your head and then it became like, I don't know. I know I have no experience with rape at all. Like I know nothing. It never happened to me. I'm just like always thinking that if that happens, you would feel yourself like fighting the person off and like having a struggle.
Right. And I was
Um,
on drugs. So there was like not
so
really a struggle. It was
right.
like me
So
being unconscious. Right. So
Or
it
just
wasn't
someone
like a
taking advantage, kind of like if somebody was given GHB or something like that, I would imagine.
right. Just like that. So, no, was it like, was I coming home from work and someone traumatically took me over? No, thankfully it wasn't like that, you know. But there were things like stories I made up about myself, like not being worthy, that really affected me throughout the years.
do you think it's because you blamed yourself for being even on drugs and drinking and whatnot that you put yourself in the environment that could happen?
Yeah, guilt and shame, the shame of like being raped. Just crazy to say, right? Like, I'm ashamed that I was the victim of rape.
I feel like that's a lot of girls do that. They're scared. They're afraid of being, what people are gonna think of them, and a lot of times they don't report it because they just think, oh, I'm just gonna get over it, whatever, and then it just affects them throughout the whole lifetime.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
what are we supposed to teach in this like situation? Like, do you think, and it's a question for guys, I do not, this is seriously a question I have. Do men, when you are in that environment and you're out partying all night and they are probably drinking, taking drugs, and then you're in that environment where people are falling asleep, passing out, whatever, and then they do that, do they know? I mean, I'm sorry, I might sound crazy. I'm just really trying to determine what is really rape. That's what I'm trying to understand here.
I would feel that it would be a non-consensus,
Okay.
So if even if the person is passed out and if they're not agreeing, it's rape. And then there's the rape where like you're forced,
Right.
So
Okay.
there's
That's different.
different levels, I feel.
Being taken advantage of. Not to take away from your experience, because I have never, ever experienced something like that when I was with a bad person in that environment. Like when I was with Andy, I mean, I was in a situation where I was asleep in our home and one of his friends came in and tried to take advantage. And I remember waking up and then nothing happened, right? Like I was not raped. I thought it was Andy. And I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are you in my bed? I sleep with no clothes on. So that is kind of, you're in you put yourself in those situations. And then, of course, Andy tried to blame me like I wanted to do something, which was a whole nother scenario. But it's putting yourself in a situation to be taken advantage of, like not a healthy situation. So I think girls and guys, it's hard to say because you're young and kind of
But that's why I'm
dumb.
asking it so strongly, because I'm trying to help other people and young girls especially, like teach them to not
Do that. Yeah,
like to
100%
not put yourself
in
in a situation
situations.
like that, because I believe very strongly that men have such a strong instinct with I mean, it is the truth.
No, yeah.
And you know, I'm not making excuses for anyone, and I'm not trying to undermine what happened to you
No, of
at
course
all. I'm
not.
just trying to understand how we can help others so that this doesn't happen, because if this is a friend of yours that you were innocently out partying with, then
Mhm.
that's not what you would have ever expected him to do to you. I think that's very important for young girls, especially that age,
Mhm.
to
I was gonna say, I feel it's definitely not a friend if they're gonna do that.
right, but she thought it was,
And
right?
two, I mean, how do you, you're out with people that you think are your friends, and then you go and you pass out, and something like that happens. I mean, at least the story she's telling, I don't feel that she put any kind of effort in persuading him to do anything. This just kind of
Right. That's why I'm asking it like
happened, and
that.
she was in a position, and I don't even know if she put herself in a position, because I mean, to me that just seems normal. You go hang
Yeah.
out with some friends, and
Well,
you go
it's
pass out in the room, and I mean, I've had tons of my friends pass out in my
Yeah.
sofa in my extra bedroom, and they should feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's why I'm asking. That's a very, very good point.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I just had to get really raw and honest and was like, I mean, I was taking GHB. It's called date rape. Like you're not aware.
Mhm.
If I was completely aware, I probably wouldn't be sleeping at someone's house that I didn't know at 5 o'clock in the morning. And if I was really doing what I was supposed to be, right? Then like I would have felt him probably come on the bed and been like, "What are you doing?"
Right,
Mhm.
right.
You know? So it's just raw responsibility for me. It should have never happened, obviously, but I'm really happy it did because it grew me into a person that now wants to help little girls and little boys that have been sexually trafficked. If I didn't go through that experience, I wouldn't have the beauty of what I have right now. And so silver linings are also very, very important, in looking at how can you grow from this part of what happened to you and not let it bear you down.
No, I think it's super important. And the fact that you're so honest about how you ended up there and how it happened, that's really the first part that is amazing, because I can tell it's the truth. So that is the most important part. So tell me more your journey. How did you get over it? How did you heal from it? And then how did you want to help others?
I mean, it, it took a lot, right? So, like, kids do what they're going to do, right? Like, some kid, I can't say that everybody, I'm not going to be like, everybody goes to that stage because, like, not every 18-year-old
No.
is like drinking GHB.
Right.
So, like, for fun. So, I, was in a household where, the strictness was very high. And so for me, it felt like I didn't have any like breathing room. So what did I do? I'm like, rebel, 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 And so that was really why I put myself in that situation. Why was I going out to the club or whatever at 18, doing whatever it is that I wanted to do?
Right.
So I just wanted to rebel against authority.
Rebel against authority.
Rebel against authority. And so
You're the oldest, right? You said, yeah.
And so I dated a gentleman named Sean, and he taught me about health and wellness and mental clarity and meditation. And like through getting in contact with God, I think that's where my life really changed because I was in connection with all that is love. And when you're in that connection with all that is love, there is no hurt or trauma.
None.
I mean, not when I'm there.
That-
Not when I'm there. I don't know about anybody else,
Yeah.
but I mean, my connection with God is what has pushed me through the hardest of times.
Do you go to church?
No.
No, you have your.
I go to a Bible study group sometimes. But no, my church is in my heart. My church is in the morning when I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much for being alive. I love you so much. And like, you're so good to me. I can't wait to see what you've got. Like, that's my church.
I loved yesterday or something. You would like read the Bible with me. I was like, oh, thank God, I can do it with her. And I'm like so busy, you forget sometimes. So that was
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was really God and just like mental discipline because we get so caught up on whatever. We can wake up in the morning and stub our toes and we're like, this is going to be the worst day of my world. Of course, this is happening to me. Or you stub your toe and you're like, oh, I need to probably pay more attention on what I'm doing. I'm happy I didn't hurt myself further.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you see how the two feels? You can feel the difference. And so,
Yeah.
taking the responsibility for you choose your own happiness, So, if you choose your own happiness, then you get to say how your life goes. And that's really what I want to teach my girls. Like, you get to say how your life goes. Like, let's take your pain and turn it into purpose and let's do something magical with it.
Yeah, Masala always says you don't have a bad day. It's a bad moment.
Oh, so good.
Mhm.
Did you have a bad day or did you have 10 minutes of something that you didn't
Yes.
like?
Right. So
Interesting.
the nonprofit, what do you have a name for it yet? Or
Yes, it's called Selah's Safeway.
okay.
And so Selah is actually pronounced Selah. It's a Hebrew word that is found at the end of some of the Psalms in the Bible, but it's spelled Selah. There's no direct translation from Hebrew to English, so they left it in Hebrew. And when you look up what the word means, it means to pause and reflect. And I originally wanted to name my daughter Selah.
Oh.
But whenever I found out that I was going to start a nonprofit, I was like, this is like my baby, So
Right.
I felt very connected to that word. So Selah's Safeway.
I love it.
Pause, reflect.
Pause and reflect.
Mm-hmm.
That is beautiful. And like if anyone knows of anyone that was trafficked and it needs help, they would reach out to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what do you offer for them?
So my home is going to be in 2 phases. So the first one, excuse me, been drinking too many daiquiris. The first one is a emergency shelter. So where we go, so whenever the children are being rescued,
Mhm.
they come to the house to the emergency shelter immediately. And then we have a long-term care facility. So the long-term care facility is more where we teach children about meditation, right? Like healing trauma through meditation, which I don't know if you know any of that, but it is incredible. The amount of transformation that happens within people that practice meditation is insane. I mean, Cruz and I have a friend named Rudy.
They know Rudy.
Oh,
yeah.
He came on the show.
Yes.
Right. So, like, Rudy and I, we practice the same types of meditation.
Oh, do you really?
Yes. But, like, we've been to his events and we've seen people that were blind that they can see again, were in wheelchairs, now can walk, have stage 4 cancer. Now they don't have any cancer. Like, it's just story upon story upon story upon story about
Wow.
connecting with the infinite. The infinite, God is all love, right? So if you know that, cancer can't thrive in a place where God is. So connecting yourself to that, like, what would it be to have God here now and projecting yourself in a future where you're free of all your pain. So meditation is going to be something that's very, very important in my home to teach the girls. It just is good for mental health and not being like so aggressive. People are so freaking aggressive. I don't get it. And so it's like it calms your nerves, makes you think about your decisions. You're more in tune with God. So you are more easily going to make the quote unquote correct decision. I don't really like to say that because I don't think there's a wrong or right. You learn from everything,
Right.
but something that pulls you towards the desires of your life. Nutrition, of course, always priority. Yoga, empowerment, leadership skills, like mirror affirmations, like self-worth. These are the things that children need, especially so if, listen, have I ever been trafficked? Absolutely not. And like, I can't imagine those children, what happened to them. It's not their fault, right? It's not their fault. So it's hard to kind of be like, take responsibility for your life.
No.
But I will always be an open heart and an open soundboard for them to know that they get to say where their life goes from this moment on. And it's an exciting and terrifying ride at the same time.
Tell why.
Huh?
Like, what's the terrifying part?
Well, it's terrifying because like I'm stepping into the unknown. I have no idea like what this is going to look like. And from someone that's like kind of like not a control freak, but I like, I like to have a grasp. When God puts a mission on your heart, you're making plans. You're like, yeah, I'm going to do this, this, and this, this. And then you like try to execute that and like nothing works. And
Yeah,
so
you
you're
get
like,
all these stones in the way, right?
right. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously I'm not doing this right because I'm not listening to what, God wants me to do. And so that's why it's a little terrifying because I'm like walking and I can't see anything. I'm just like seeing the next baby step. I'm like, okay, I'll take the next step. Okay, got that down, And so, and then it's also terrifying as well because like I don't want to mess up like a little baby, like like my little girls that are. I don't want to say the wrong thing or like act the wrong. I say the wrong, right? I don't think there's wrong or right, but I want to just make sure that they feel so loved and secure and happy and safe. Just want them to be safe and like I taking care of children that have gone through that, like multiple of them, like it is terrifying. Like some of them are hooked on drugs. Some of them are hooked on meth because their pimps put them like take meth so they can
And heroin.
be up for their clients.
Yeah.
It
It's so
is
hard to imagine that is really a thing in our world. It's so sad.
if people knew like just like 10% of what I knew about this stuff that I've been studying, like they'd be in bed sick for like 3 months. It's disgusting.
It's absolutely horrifying. Scary.
Can anybody, because I know we talked about this, I think maybe last time with Danielle and Liv, like it doesn't matter what age, correct? Like even grown women, or is it mostly children?
It's just children. Yeah,
Okay.
there are a lot of homes for women that have been trafficked here in Dallas. There's not anybody doing what I'm doing.
Right,
Dallas.
right.
Well, that is amazing and so commendable that you're taking that on because I don't even know. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Mhm.
It's a lot, but I know God's got me because it's not like, yeah, I'm connected to it, but it's like not my thing. Like it is my thing, but it's not my thing. I don't know how to express it to you. Like I remember so I was in a company called Herbalife, which is a network marketing company. They sell nutritional products. And I remember God called me to go write in my journal and he was like, you need to quit Herbalife. Chapter's over. I need you to open up a transformational center for children and all this stuff. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I've been in Herbalife for 8.5 years.
Wow.
So then I went to talk to my mentor's wife, and she was like, "That's not God, and this is wrong." And I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And so the conversation was a lot longer, but I'm just giving you the gist. She's a kind woman. So I didn't do anything about it for like a year and a half. And then it was just like one day, it pushed me over the edge. It was actually during COVID. I heard another story of another child committing suicide because they were secluded from humanity, which is something that we need. We need connection. We need to touch. We need to laugh. We need to have each other. Kills himself. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing here? I'm like selling shakes. Yeah, it's great. I've helped like a lot of people. Listen, I've helped a lot of people with their health, completely turn their whole life around. They're not going to get diabetes anymore. Like they're not going to be obese, like 100% very high quality of life now. And it's a great company, but it was like, I'm made for more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a little part where it's like terrifying because I'm like shaking. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know if nonprofit, how am I going to feed myself? I don't know. Like, nonprofits make money. Like, I'm just like hustling, sell, money, let's go. And now I'm like, oh, we're like saving children. Do they make money over there? I don't know how that happens.
I think they do actually, if you set it up correctly.
If you set it up
you do
correctly.
all those fundraiser things people want to give to causes like this because it's important.
It's very important. And I've learned down the road. So like just these are the things that were terrifying to me at the beginning because I was like, not nonprofits, they don't make money, I don't think. So yeah, and so then the terrifyingness, that's not a word. Is it terrifyingness?
Sure it is.
I mean, you can make
I
it
wish I
one.
made one. If
Great,
it's not
thank you
one,
guys.
I wouldn't know.
You guys are good to me. Of just having to tell the people that I have groomed me to be a successful woman and believe in me and getting to the next level and like all the stuff, to say goodbye to them for like 10 years. It was a year and a half after that happened. 10 years. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, and I'm sitting there, I'm crying on the couch I'm crying on the phone with my life coach. I'm like, I'm just so scared. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know how to say it. I don't know what to do. And he's like, just say it. Just say it. Okay. I'm just going to say it. And then I called him and I was like, I didn't want to let you down, but like, this is where my heart's at. And he was like, oh yeah, that's totally cool. You can always come
Easy.
back if you ever need it.
Right, exactly.
And I was like, oh my God, I feel so much better.
So easy.
It's so easy. Communication, another thing that's like so important to me. It's like communicate what is and what isn't in your life, like how are you feeling? What are you doing? Like another incredible thing I want to teach my children, my little girls. I don't have any babies, but
That's awesome. Well, we will definitely support you with your journey and
thank you. I have a lot of
follow
cool
you along.
things. Cool things
And I
in the mix.
think we need to end this segment. Is there anything else you want to share first?
Yes, just one more thing.
Yes.
If you are in event planning or want to be a part of an event or want to donate or have a cool idea, please reach out to me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is BeSunshine365. I'd love to talk to you because I have a lot of things that are about to pop off. It's very exciting. So
That's
cool.
HMU.
So we're going to end this with our gossip segment. Please. I don't know if we have anything.
I thought the girls were coming.
No.
We got gossip.
Perfect.
Am I just doing the pizza story?
Yes, Marcella has
Okay,
some gossip,
so
Cruz.
My recent ex before that, the one who cheated, whatever. Well, it doesn't even matter. But I found
Can
a
we say names?
Hold up, which
Do
one?
we say names?
Hold
You're gonna have to
which
be more.
one?
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Blast that
We just, like-
motherfucker.
We don't care who.
yeah. So I found out that, you always find stuff out after you break up, like, oh, he cheated on this person with you or whatever, not with me, but all these people. And I found out that a really creative way actually is he has a daughter, and I mean, obviously maybe she would say something if a random girl was at the house. So he had the girl he was cheating on me with. He said, "Hey, I have my little girl here. Can you go pick up a pizza?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." He said, "Well, don't go in the garage like normal. Just come to the front door and ring the doorbell." And she's like, "Okay." So she goes to the front door, rings the doorbell. His daughter says, "Dad, the pizza girl is here." And he said, "Well, she seems cool. Should we hang out with the pizza girl?" So they hung out the whole time.
Let's invite the
The pizza girl inside. And so that was a very creative way. And then
Creative. Wow.
And we have the pizza girl coming on the show later. So that will be interesting on an episode.
Okay, but Marcella, tell us how you really feel about that.
Well, I actually thought it was creative. And then it's nothing else. I mean, I can't go on the rant because I'm not feeling the rant right now. But
Dang it.
still, it was very
You gotta
creative.
get it live.
I know. I have to get
When
a
you're in the
vibe from
moment,
when
It
I'm
was
in the
on the
moment.
phone. I was dying.
I know
wish I
she
had-
likes to
could
have me
have
try to
ripped-
force it again, but I don't know how.
How do
Because I talked to this person then on the phone yesterday, and it was like interesting.
I need to figure out how to record a phone conversation.
I don't think that's legal.
Well, I would ask your permission if I could play it.
But I think it was very, I was saying I wanted to do a TikTok, like stitch this of any creative way that your boyfriend has cheated on you before, like trying to not get caught.
That's solid though.
Yeah, that is. It's a good one.
Creative. That's,
Creative.
I mean, you're so sweet for even saying creative.
I know,
I
right?
feel like
I
that
know.
is deceitful. And you're the scum of the
I think
earth.
it's been so long at this point that it's like nothing has surprised me anymore with this person.
And when you're done. So what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even matter. But I do think it's interesting. I feel like The Other Woman, that movie where the three
Yes.
girls, like they all become friends, and I feel like he's just retarded. I don't know. That's really kind of it.
All right. That was gossip, though.
I can't wait to hear the whole.
I want to hear the other side of
Yes.
the story.
You will. You'll be able to when it comes out.
So, Vanessa, thank you so much for
You're so
joining
welcome.
us. We appreciate your time. And everyone, please follow us on all our social media platforms. What are they, Marcella?
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube.
Twitter, everywhere.
Yes.
Please follow us and hit that subscribe button. We need more subscribers on YouTube.
Yes.
And thank you for listening very much.
Thank you.
Get at us.